Yo guys, welcome back to Sports Coaster. Thank y'all so much for tuning in to today's episode here on Sports Coaster on YouTube. It is currently Tuesday, January 2nd, 2018. Thank y'all so much for tuning in. We got so much basketball from last night's action to be talking about. DEMAR DEROZan had a massive game as well. Talk about that. We had 2 overtime games in Toronto and in Chicago. It's about to be lit. Thank y'all so much for tuning in. Hope you be enjoying this episode. Alright, so the first game of the day, we'll be talking about the Orlando Magic visiting the Brooklyn Nets in New York. Brooklyn would end up taking this game 98-95. This was really an intense game considering the fact both these teams are not that good coming into this game, but it was still a really close 3-point ball game. Orlando had a few good chances at the end there to tie it up. I thought Jared Allen had a great game coming off the bench, putting up a career-high 16 points. Man, that boy was everywhere. That throw, man, that thing was everywhere. But as for Orlando, Elfrid Payton, of course, had big games, 17 points. And their entire starting lineup put up double-digit numbers. Jonathan Simmons, Aaron Gordon, Bismack Biyombo grabbed 17 rebounds, probably the most notable stat of the game as well. Evan Fournier as well had a really great game. But after this game, the Orlando Magic still 12-26, not really that great of a record, and the Brooklyn Nets have advanced on to being 14-23. DEMAR DEROZan and Kyle Lowry combined for 78 points in last night's win in overtime against the Milwaukee Bucks. The Toronto Raptors took this game 131-127, and holy was it good. I mean, down the stretch, really the last 5 minutes, that's when it really started to get intense. And let me just say, for starters, Eric Bledsoe of the Milwaukee Bucks can bang some cold-blooded threes. That man went 5 of 7 from downtown. He finished off the night with 29 points, but he had some cold-blooded threes just silencing the Air Canada Center in Toronto. It was pretty intense. But DEMAR DEROZan, of course, gotta talk about that man. Man put up 52 points. He went 17 of 29 shooting, 58%, 5 of 9 from downtown. He had all 13 of his free throws. On top of getting 52 points, that boy dimed up 8 assists, grabbed 5 rebounds. He had a really solid game all around, ending up in a Toronto win. Toronto now 25-10, improving the record, and the Milwaukee Bucks falling to 19-16. But what a great Eastern Conference matchup. Probably my game of the night. The Portland Trail Blazers walked into Chicago and beat the Bulls 124-120 in overtime. Portland came into this game without Damian Lillard. They were starting Shabazz Napier at point. Shabazz ended up playing 41 minutes and dropping 11 points and 6 assists. CJ McCollum was the game's highest scorer. He put up 32 points. He was red hot in the third quarter. He got 14 in the third. Went 5 of 11 from downtown. As for on the Chicago side of the ball, Lauri Markkanen, that man can nail a three-pointer, man. You should see the whole crowd when they see Lauri Markkanen jack up a 3. They already know what's going to go in. Nikola Mirotic off the bench, nice solid 10 points. But really, this was kind of obvious that the Portland Trail Blazers were going to win. It kind of had that vibe throughout the entire game. The Bulls were in it. The Bulls sent it to overtime. But I don't know, they just never really had a chance to win. Well, at least I never gave them a chance to win. Can I just talk about, though, probably the most underrated rookie out of all the rookies? And it's Denzel Valentine, the rookie out of Gonzaga. You already saw the Gonzaga Bulldogs, how they went to the March Madness finals last year, lost to North Carolina. But I think he's really underrated. He's proven he's had some really great moments for the Chicago Bulls. He can knock down a 3-ball if he wants, as well as play some great defense. I don't know, just keep that in your mind. I think he's one of the most underrated rookies, Denzel Valentine. The last game from last night's action was between the young Los Angeles Lakers. They did play without Lonzo Ball, and the Minnesota Timberwolves. Minnesota took this ball game 114-96, and they were really led by Jimmy Butler's 28 points. Jimmy Butler is probably the most underrated player in the NBA, in my opinion. I mean, he doesn't get like all this mainstream media attention that he really deserves, considering how good he is. I mean, the man was dropping like 38 points some games. He can drop 30 plus any game, really. He's really talented. He can shoot the 3-ball, he can drive, he can play defense just as good as the next guy. Anyway, back to this game. Jimmy Butler dropped 28 points, 9 assists, 3 rebounds. Karl-Anthony Towns as well came up. He didn't play as many minutes as Jimmy Butler or really any of the other starters. He only played 26, still got 16 points and 13 rebounds, another double-double for him. Los Angeles Lakers, of course, already mentioned, they were not playing with Lonzo Ball. They started Tyler Ennis at the point guard position. He dropped a 3-ball early on. That was really all we saw out of him. He did have 7 points. Julius Randle led the Lakers with 15 points, and Brandon Ingram came up close to him with 14. Corey Brewer, great off the bench. He dropped in a 3-pointer, had some great buckets down the stretch, and he had 12 points. And ladies and gentlemen, this brings us to our player of the day. And there's not a lot of confusion as to who this should be, not a lot of controversy. Obviously, DEMAR DEROZAN of the Toronto Raptors takes this one, by far the best player. He ended up with 52 points. We've already talked about it. Just let alone 52 points, that's all you really need. You don't really need to know that he did play 43 minutes, which is incredible in that win over the Milwaukee Bucks. He had an amazing game. You're watching some of the highlights right now. He was amazing. On top of 52 points, you already know 8 assists, 5 rebounds. He did drop 5 3-pointers off 9 attempts. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, that's your player of the game, DEMAR DEROZAN. Anyway, thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen, for joining me on today's episode of Sports Coaster. I thank you for listening to the entire show. Please don't forget to go hit the subscribe button down below. Like this video if you liked it, dislike it if you disliked it, comment what you think about it down below. How can I improve? What did I do good? And of course, don't forget to follow us over on Instagram at Sports Coaster. You already know the grind to 5K over there is real. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you and have a great rest of your day. Peace.